Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not, and welcome to Juniversal Month. That's right, a whole month where we pay tribute to the Universal Pictures movies that made us, and some that are... So I made this list I went through several times. I picked a lot of the ones, so I made sure half of them were revisited, half of them are brand new to make this all worth it. I could have done all these as revisited. I could have done 30 revisited reviews for Juniversal and been done. But I decided to do it right. And instead do half new and half revisited, because it makes sense. You have some new content on the channel, right? Instead of just going through what I've already done. So yeah, I figured do that. That being said, much like last year with Universal Horror Month, I'm going by year. So I'm starting out in the year 1980, and I'm ending in 2012 with all the movies together. So, but because of that, I go by the year. So it's very top heavy with revisiteds, as the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these are revisiteds, and we're gonna have 2 new ones, and then 2 more revisited, then 1 new one, and then 1, 2, 3 more revisited before we get to a new one, and then 1, 2 revisited, another new one, another revisited, another new one, one more new one, that's 3, and then a revisited, followed by a new one, revisited, new one, new one, new one, new one, new one, new one. So it's very top heavy with revisited, and then bottom heavy with new. So we're starting off with some of the ones I've already done before. We're going to end with some new ones. And all of these I've seen before, except for one movie. In 2001 or 2. Or 2 movies. 2 movies, 3 movies. I am looking at this list. All but 3 movies I have seen. And some of these have been a while since I've seen them, the new ones. So, yes, with that in mind, we're going to take a trip back to the year 1980 to Calumet City, Illinois, to visit Joliet Jake and Elwood, the Blues Brothers. So in every iteration of this list, this was always on the list, except for that one time that it wasn't by accident, because I had used the Steelbook. I think what it was is I bought it, put it on the stack. See, it's back there. The Steelbook and the regular version. And then I put in my haul video, and then I put it away, not thinking, oh, I gotta put it on the stack. And so I put together the list, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's the Blues Brothers? Put it back out. So yes, Blues Brothers, released in 1980, directed by John Landis, starring Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. About 2 brothers who grew up in an orphanage, and now have to save said orphanage. If you don't get that joke, because I do it every time I say orphanage. It's from the Amanda Show. It's the, yeah, welcome to my video store. This movie better, much better. That one. When I think it's the nun that comes in actually and goes, we're from the orphanage. And they go, orphanage. So that's why I did that. But I'm doing once. And so they need $5,000 to save the orphanage. And so they set out to get the band back together and make enough money to do that. It was written by Dan Aykroyd, who turned in a whopper of a script, including backstories for everything, including the car. which they said was too much. And so they had John Landis rewrite the script to fit to the film, which still wasn't enough because the original cut of this film was 160 minutes. It's 3 hours long. By the way, close to it. And it got cut down to 148 minutes, which is the extended cut. And that was cut down to 133 minutes, the theatrical cut, which I didn't know was that long. And so when a movie's that long, when I watch the movie, I think, you gotta find something you can take out. And unfortunately, what you can take out is a necessity for this film, the car crash scenes. There are a lot of car crash scenes. There's also other things you could take out, like Carrie Fisher showing up. You take all those scenes out, I don't think it would mess with the plot at all. Because there's really no point to her, right? The whole thing, the payoff to her is that Jake left her at the altar. He uses his charms to woo her again, give her a smooch, drop her in the mud, and then they run off. There was no real payoff to that. You take all that out, and that scene, just have them leave and escape. I also thought this. And as much as the chase at the end of this film is really good, what if they had them just get to the county assessor's office, get a thing done, and as they're leaving, they open the thing to find everyone standing there with the guns. Out of nowhere. It's like, oh, we did it, we made it, and then everybody there. It's funny in the movie with the context of what we know, but if you don't show anything, and it's just everyone, but the only problem is, they don't just have the cops. But you can still do it. You can have Bob and the good old boys chasing them and have them crash. The Illinois Nazis chase them and they crash. And then they get to the county assessor's office thinking they've outwitted everyone, including the cops. And as they turn around, well, we got everyone. Yeah, everyone. And they forgot about the cops. And then cut to dun dun. It would work. Speaking of, let's have the music. This is one of the best soundtracks to a movie I've ever heard. Watching the movie today and listening to music in it, how, boom, 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 hey, boom, boom. Oh, twist it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Twist it, shake it, you better thinking about you trying to do to me. Now, think, I ain't gonna let you set me free. No, freedom. Come on, Braveheart, freedom. Mwah. Chef's kiss to the soundtrack, right? Even some of the stuff that just plays in the background, that's not on the soundtrack. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on. Yeah, the instrumental stuff, and this was back when I wasn't into instrumentals, into scores, but you got the Can't Turn Me Loose, which is sped up for the movie, and then, which is the theme song of the Blues Brothers, though they did also use the Green Onions tune by Booker T and the MGs. And I think they actually used that in a briefcase full of blues. Dun, dun, yeah. And then the Peter Gunn theme, as weird as it is to throw a random theme song from a show, in there, that works, right? And then you got the cast. Beyond John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, you got John Candy. You got John Candy. You got what's his name? Henry Gibson. Carrie Fisher, as I mentioned, Kathleen Freeman, Frank Oz, Charles Napier, Stephen Williams. Even John Landis has a cameo. And a cameo from my favorite director, Steven Spielberg, as the county assessor, who's not credited on here, but he's in the credits on the movie, but he's not credited here. But yeah, the clerk, yeah. And then you have musical cameos like James Brown as Reverend Cleophas James, Cab Calloway as Curtis, Ray Charles as Ray, bit of a stretch, Aretha Franklin as Mrs. Murphy. The whole entire band, which was a real band, right? And I don't think their acting talents was that bad. Twiggy, John Lee Hooker, yeah. Just a fantastic cast. So let's actually talk about the movie now. And I love this opening shot because it's dark. You just see the city as the sun kind of comes up, and you just. So as I mentioned, there is an extended version. I will actually what I'm gonna do, and I often forget. You know, let's do it now. There are. The extended version has extended sequences that I think I watched the extended version once and I didn't care for it. It's way too long. The extended version actually opens up with a longer intro to the prison. And I think this version works better where you don't see who it is right away. Whereas this would tell you, hey, Jake, come on, wake up, gotta go. They're beating him upside the head to wake him up. Whereas here, you only stand from behind. It's very well done. And you just follow him until he, there's also extended parts where Frank Oz is listing stuff. He lists his belt and his shoes. So, and that's in that version too, which he doesn't. And I didn't realize, he doesn't talk about his belt or his shoes in the regular version. But yeah, so he walks up, he was a 5-year sentence for armed robbery, in which there are various reasons given for why he did it. They say later that he did it to help pay the band, but I don't know if that's really why he did it, but yeah, armed robbery. And so he's given his stuff, $23.07 or whatever it was. And then he meets Elwood, and we get the first song of the film. She got the Katie, and left me a mule to rise. So when I did my top 10 musicals list, I left this off, I think. It is technically a musical, but it's in a way that Camp Rock is also a musical where, though I will say there is more musical part to it, but mostly it's when they're performing is when the songs are played. There's no point, except for maybe Aretha Franklin busting out into Think, that it's just musical stuff, because it's just when they approach it. This plays as a song on the soundtrack, She Got the Katie, so it's not like they're just bust out singing as they're getting into the car. She got the Katie! No, just, and then, I think that Think is the only one where they just bust out into a musical. Because, with Ray Charles, he's doing it to prove that the keyboard they got still works. And with all the other ones, they're just performing, right? Rawhide and Everybody Needs Somebody, it's all performing. And the rest of them are, in the background. It's Think is the only one where it's really a musical type thing. I feel like the sequel, Blues Brothers 2000, goes more into musical territory, because that also has musical sequences. They go to Eddie Floyd and he just starts singing 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 out of nowhere. They go to get Matt Guitar Murphy again, and Aretha Franklin breaks into her most famous hit. You know what I mean by respect, don't you? You know what I mean. RESPECT. Yeah. Those are the ones I can think of that description. But, They had two in that one. This one. Yeah. So after he gets out, Jake, I want to point out here that I noticed something, but I don't think it's too important to the plot. When they go to turn, Elwood sticks out his hand and makes a turn signal. And I'm like, is that because the lights don't work? But I don't think I paid attention enough to notice that the lights work, because I never see him do that again. I don't know if it's something that Aykroyd did. He it's this one. He puts a turn signal and then he turns, and I'm like, huh. It's an old Mount Prospect police car. And I do like how Jake's like, I spent 3 years in the clink, or whatever it was. 3 years in the can, and my own brother picks me up in a police car? Like, what? Don't you like it? I fixed a cigarette lighter. And they go to the orphanage. Orphanage. Now, what are we doing here? And you promised we're here to see the penguin. Why? You promised you'd see the penguin when you got out. So I lied. So they go to see the penguin. Sister Mary Stigmata. What a name. And they go to talk to her. And it's here, during this conversation, that I realized that the plot point of the foreclosure on the orphanage, and the second one actually makes sense. I know a lot of people hate it, but she says here, when she talks about the need, first of all, she makes them sit in those stupid desks in school. I hated it. As a chubby person, I hated it. Though when I was that young, I wasn't that chubby. But like, it's those desks where it's a chair, and then the desk is actually attached to the chair, and it goes around like this. I hate those. It's like nowadays, when we go out, we gotta sit at a table, because my fat ass can't fit in no goddamn booth. Are you kidding me? We were kids, it was a booth, it was nice, they were comfortable, more comfortable. But my fat ass can't fit in no booth. So, yeah. Seeing that, I'm like, I'd be like Jake, but can't get out. No, but she says that they owe $5,000, or the orphanage isn't going to keep doing that. It's going to be foreclosed on. And so, well, what about the church? Like, the church doesn't care. The church is just going to let it go, which says to me that it's the orphanage is gone by the second one because the church just let it go. The church doesn't care. It took the money. The orphanage was able to stay, but then once that was done, they're like, nope. And there is extra stuff here where she talks about being sent overseas to the missionary. Yeah, and there's a little more extended scenes here in that version. I did not watch the extended version. Unlike another movie that's on this list that has an extended version, unlike it, I'm gonna go through it, but I didn't watch. I've seen it a long time ago. I memorized the other movies extended version more than this one. So yeah, so they need $5,000, and Jake says, "Hey, no sweat, we can get that." She goes, "I don't want your stolen money, filthy money." And I do like how they start getting into trouble because they're like, "Well, I guess you're up shit creek." What did you say? I said, "I guess you're up shit creek." Ah, shit. Christ, Jake. Ah, God damn it. No, fuck, that's shit. She's just beating the shit out of him because they keep swearing. And then she gets him out of it. Jake falls down the stairs. There's so much in this movie where it's like they should be dead. Jake falls down these long ass stairs and tis but a scratch. Right? Yeah. So they decide what they gotta do. They meet up with Curtis, right? Kevin Calloway, who talks to them about it. He goes, "You guys need to go to church. You go down the street, Triple Rock Baptist Church, and you attend a sermon by Reverend Cleophas James, who is James Brown." My brain. And it's here at this sermon, at the song that that's really all it is. Oh, that man. Oh, landmark. Oh, landmark. That's really all it is. It's here that Jake has an epiphany from the Lord himself. The band! The band? The band! Do you see the light? I see the light. Do you see the light? Jesus H. Tap dancing Christ, I see the light! Yeah. Which I used to thought it was goddamnness Christ, not tap dancing. Like I had subtitles on when I was watching. I watched it on my phone, but I had an issue. See, my dumbass forgot the little container for my earbuds. So I was going just freewheeling it with them in my pocket. Eventually, I couldn't get them to connect anymore. So, because I couldn't put back in the case, I had to hear. So I had to watch it without sound towards the middle of the movie. So, yeah. So they decide they gotta get the band back together. And again, this is the first time where I really went, you know, I don't think we needed this. So they get stopped because they ran a red light. But like Elwood says, the light was yellow, sir. And it was. You can see it. It was yellow. He went through, and they're just sitting there. It's a... Excuse me. Speed trap, I guess you could say. The light was yellow, and he went through it. And they're like, you ran a red light. The light was yellow, sir. And it was yellow. And so he gives him his license, which is a bad idea because he has outstanding warrants on him for all the parking tickets he hasn't paid. And then they have the skadum or whatever he calls it. Scamad. The Scamad. I don't know what it stands for, but Scamad. Hold on. Actually, maybe I'll... What is this? This is my review of Peter Pan Doing a Nightmare. I don't want that. Scamad. Why is it in Chinese? No. Scamad, Blue Brothers. There we go. State, county, municipal, defend. It. What was the Scamad's State, County, Municipal Offender Data System? Blues Elwood, Illinois license B26316552187. Currently under suspension. Warrants outstanding. Parking 116. Moving violations 56. Arrest driver, impound vehicle. In Illinois, the last 5 digits on your driver's license include your birthday and gender in an encoded format. According to Elwood Blues' driver's license, he was born on July 1st, 1952. Okay. And does that fit Dan Aykroyd? Yeah, the Scamad. Which only reminds me of, yeah, that is Dan Aykroyd's birthday. Nice touch there. This reminds me of the joke that Gabriel Iglesias said. It's like, hey, at least you have a computer. We got stopped last week. That fool had a Rolodex. So, yeah. So we need to use to buy the vehicle. So he steps on the gas. And this is the first time where it's like, we could have just, because they have them going around in circles and driving weird. You could have just done that and have them escape them, and the next thing could just be them walking into his building, and then you can have the Wrigley Field thing. Like, don't you think they can find your apartment? I gave him on my last renewal, I gave him the wrong address. 1060 whatever. That's Wrigley Field. But we know we got this whole thing through the mall. And it's a fun scene with that song playing in the background. But all it really is, really think about it, is them crashing into stuff. Jake says a store, and then they crash into it. Pier 1 Imports, and then they crash into Pier 1 Imports. It's like, okay, I get it. But like I said, you take, not all of them, but a lot. This one could have been taken out because I don't think you really needed it. But, you know, they could have still been after them because they left a traffic stop. They took off on them. The cops would still have cause to chase after them. You know? So they escape and they get to Elwood's place, flop house where Elwood lives. Then Carrie Fisher shows up and shoots a rocket launcher at them, and it just misses them and they're fine. Again, they would be fucking dead. It just, first of all, Elwood somehow knows that it's coming. He grabs Jake and they duck down. It's like, how did you know that was happening? Right? They get there, and this is a nice scene, and it also goes to show you, I didn't realize this to watch it this time, Elwood only eats bread. He only eats bread. What is he doing? He's making toast. By having this thing over the top of a burner, he's making toast. Later, when they're at the restaurant to get Mr. Fabulous, he's like, yeah, Jake's like, yeah, I'll get a, what was it, four or five shrimp cocktails and some bread for my brother. And then later, when they get to the diner, it's 4 whole fried chickens and a Coke and toast, dry. He only eats bread. And I think you only see him eating bread in that scene too, where Jake is like, he'll throw the shrimp in Jake's mouth, but I think he's only eating bread. I didn't realize that till watching it this time. But anyway, we get the scene, and again, it's not really needed, and it makes no sense, really, but this movie, common sense is the furthest thing from this movie's mind, you know what I mean? They're sleeping, and John Candy shows up with the 2 cop troopers, and they go in, and Carrie Fisher shows up again. I don't know if she has a name. Carrie Fisher, does she have a name? I'm not going to call her by it anyway, but she has... Mystery Woman. That's all she calls. She never has a name. Shows up, and she blows the fucking place up. Now here, before, when they go to the park, it is explained how the Bluesmobile gets its powers, because they park it under power lines that gives it its power, which is the only thing from the script that Aykroyd had that wasn't completely changed. They kept it, but then they took it out of the theatrical version. It's explained in the extended edition. The whole place blows up. And then Jake and Elwood, which, by the way, before they go to bed, Elwood takes off his jacket and his hat. He has his glasses on. Hey, you sleaze, my bed. And so when they show him, he's sleeping on a chair with a jacket over him, like it's a blanket. But after the crash, he's wearing the jacket. How? When? It's just the whole thing. And they're fine. No one would survive that explosion. The whole thing crashed. It's all made of cinder block and concrete. No way. But they're fine. Just about a scratch. They put the hat back on and everybody. Well, it's 9:30. We gotta get to work. And there was some scenes deleted of going to Elwood's job. He quits. He gets the glue, which is used later in the climax. And there's also a deleted scene that shows how he gets the can of cheese whiz for that one guy when they come in there. But, yeah. And also, John Candy and the cops are fine, too. Everyone's made of rubber, just bounces off them, I guess. I don't know. So now it's on to getting the gang, and, I feel like this scene's another one you could have taken out. They go to this place where Blue Lou and Blue Lou and not Murphy Dunn, was it? It was Duck Dunn? I don't know. 2 people are supposed to be living. And I know they left. They moved on. And it's like, and she gives them the card that sends them to Murph and the Magic Tones. Cool. But do we really need that scene otherwise? Like, Elwood says he's been trying to keep track and he has some leads. Murph and the Magic Tones could have been the first one. You know, he could say, "Oh, I only know about Murph and the others. They're called Murph and the Magic Tones now." You know, the whole thing. Yeah. And actually, Murphy Dunn, who plays Murph from Murph and the Magic Tones, is actually in addition to this, as Paul Schaefer, the original keyboardist, was unavailable. So they brought in Murphy Dunn to play the role. So they get there and they talk to him, and they talk to the others. We're getting the band back together on a mission from God, and they, no, you're not gonna get Mr. Fabulous back. He's got a tidy gig. He's making 6 figures up there. You leave it up to us. That's what they do. The women. How much for the women? The girls. How much for the girls? They completely embarrassed him. They show up. He's like, "Oh, you guys can't be here." What? I got out of jail. We're celebrating being out. I'd like to know who paid for this food. Because like I said, it was like 4 shrimp cocktails in the bread. And some wine. Dom Perignon, I think is what it is. And then like, after they get Mr. Fabulous to concede, they leave. And then Mr. Fabulous is sitting there pouring himself a glass of wine. And he's like, and the guy's like, "Sir, and he puts I think he puts the wine bottle upside down in the thing. It's kind of funny, right? And then comes Mac Guitar Murphy and Blue Lou, who are working at a soul food restaurant. This is where we get the ha 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 ha, boom, 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 hey, right? And yeah, I do like this scene because they get there. She go, "Okay, what y'all want?" He's like, "You got any bread, ma'am?" "Yeah, let me get toast. Let me get some bread toasted. Do you want butter or jam?" "No, ma'am. Dry." "Dry? What about you? How's your chicken?" "They got the best damn chicken in the county." Let me get 4. You want legs or wings?" "No. 4 whole chickens and a Coke." 4 whole fried chickens and a Coke?" "Yes, ma'am." "And toast. Dry?" "Yes, ma'am." "You want anything with that?" "No, ma'am." "A Coke." She goes back. These jive ass. What they come in here looking like they're with the FBI. Well, they ordered. One of them ordered toast, dry, Elwood. The other one ordered 4 whole fried chickens and a Coke. And Jake, the Blues Brothers. Yeah, so they want him to join, and she's like, "We got a good thing going on here. So you better think about what you want to say. You better think. You better think. Think about what you're trying." What I like about this is the Blues Brothers kind of join in, and she is yelling at Matt about going with them. They should be against her, but then they just want to dance, I guess. But yeah, and I do like when she's like, "Well," and he's like, "Come on, guys, let's go." And then she looks at Blue Lou and she's like, "Well, go on, damn it." Shit. Just to hear her curse. Shit. Yeah, so then we go to Ray's Music Exchange, where we get a cameo from Argyle from Die Hard. He's the kid that Ray Charles shoots at in this movie. "Breaks my heart to see someone so young turn to a life of crime." "Hey, you know me? I'm Murph and the Magic Tones. About the amps for you." "Oh, I said a lot of amps. Oh, these were the amps with the shag on it." "Oh yeah, I'd buy them back to you for $350, for $325 a piece. $325 a piece. I bought them for $800 a piece years ago." "Oh well, you know, depreciation and much. So then, hey, what's with this keyboard? Yeah, I think it's all played out. Not played out. And we shake your tail feather. Well, I heard about the fella you've been dancing with all over the neighborhood. So why didn't you ask me, baby? Or didn't you think I would? Well, I know that the boogaloo was out of sight. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep going, but yes, I love this part. They do the dance, and again, the Blues Brothers. Twisted, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. And I just like it with the donor. We'll take it. Oh, of course. And naturally, I'd have taken IOU. I just love it. Hey, by the end, they do pay him off, right? So now they got the band, they got the instruments, they're ready to go. What else? What else can go wrong? All right, they need a gig. So, as they're just driving around to nowhere, everybody in the same car, by the way, I think. No, those two different cars. But anyway, so what happens is they find, in the middle of Kokomo, Indiana, a honky-tonk bar called Bob's Country Bunker. Where, like, here he is, this is it, Bob Country Bunker, this is where we're supposed to go. Jake, it says the Good Old Boys. No, it's supposed to be the Blues Brothers, Triumphant Return. So they gotta go in there, it's a country, I do like it. What kind of music do you guys play here? Oh, we got both kinds, country and western. So they start out by playing what is a banger of a tune. Give me some love. These country bumpkins don't give a shit and start getting pissed, throwing beer bottles, and they shut the lights off. So what do? They need something that fits with that, right? Well, we think, get him up, ride him up, ride him up. No. Move him up, rawhide. They sing rawhide, which works. And then they sing, stand by your man, give him 2 arms to cling to. And then it just cuts away to, I wonder what other ones they sang, because at the end, and remember, move him on, hit him up, move him on, hit him up, rawhide. Yeah. I do he's like, all right, it's $200, and you drank $300 worth of beer. And he's like, well, when they gave it to us, she didn't ask for any money, so we thought, it was free for the band. He's like, no. How does? I'm sorry. I feel like it should be separate, right? He gives you $200, and you got to give him $300 other dollars. No, I don't know. $300 worth of beer. I'm sorry, but how many people had beer? $300? Aren't they drunk by now? Oh, went down weird. Anyway, yeah. So we gotta go take a collection from the band, and it's here that as the band is leaving, the Good Old Boys actually show up. And here's the situation that was gonna happen. If the Blues Brothers did not show up, they wouldn't have had anyone perform at the time they were supposed to. Because by the time it was done, everyone was gone, really. So you're thinking the Good Old Boys were fucking late. They showed up late. There'd be no one there to perform. Bob would be pissed anyway. So Bob, you should be happy you had a performer at all. You know what I mean? And I do he's like, you know what? We're gonna write out a check. I like to do it right on the dashboard. So they get in there and they drive off. So now Bob and the Good Old Boys are after them. Don't know why the Good Old Boys are after them. Yeah, took the thing, but they didn't get paid. So they didn't actually take their money. So I don't know, the Good Old, I don't know. Oh, also, I skipped the part. Where is it? Maybe it's not. It's here. No. Where is it? Here. On their way to get the final 2 members. So on their way to get Matt Guitar Murphy and Blue Lou is when they get the Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis. I hate all Nazis, but okay. And it's Henry Gibson. Riley. Riley O'Reilly. Better not cut up this one, boys. I think it's my grandson. Yes, him. Of Lucky the Irish and Laugh-In fame. And yes, he plays a Nazi. Oh, I forgot to mention the part. It's really not consequential because if I didn't mention it, you probably wouldn't notice in the movie. When they try to figure out a gig, they go into the phone booth, and somehow the mystery woman has found them again and blows up the phone booth. And they survive. What I like is the response is, "Man, there's $7 worth of change here." Yeah. So, this is where they go to see good old Maury Sline. Yes. And he gets them to Palace Hotel Ballroom, and so Curtis and the orphan kids from the orphanage, and the Blues Brothers themselves go out and promote the shit out of this thing, right? Unfortunately, all this attention also alerts John Candy and the cops, the good old boys and Bob, and the Illinois Nazis. So, yeah, by the time it's all packed up, and here's another scene you could have taken out. It out of nowhere, it's like, oh, we're out of gas. Really? I understand they gotta be late and sneak in so that the cops don't see them, but we're out of gas. And all it is they're at the gas station. And he hits on Twiggy. So, hey, he helps fill her up and gets $92 or $94 for her. $94 in 1980 for gas. She didn't question it. She's like, okay. How much gas did she get? And, yeah. So they finally get to the place. They had to sneak in while the band covers by playing Minnie the Moocher. Hidey, 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 hi. Hoody, 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 ho. What I like about this scene, this musical performance, is that it changes. They're into, like, classy looking uniforms and stuff as it performs. And when it's done, they're back to looking normal again. I don't know what happens, but and like John Candy comes in and they're sitting there. I want an orange whip. Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips. And I've always wondered, what's an orange whip? Let's look that up. I guess I didn't look at the extended stuff here. Is there any more? Yeah, there was more talking outside of the church. There is extended parts of the performance of Reverend Cleophas James. This is where the extended version shows they're parking underneath the power transformer to give the car its powers. More stuff inside the apartment. There's a scene where John Candy and the cop more talk to the guy downstairs. And that's it. Oh, there's more. Elwood's job, which you see him without sunglasses. And I do think it's good they deleted it because I like the idea where they always wear the sunglasses. Because that's the thing in the second one where take your sunglasses off. He's like, because it's so bright. Yeah, I think it works that we don't have that in there. Mrs. Tarantino. There's so much other things. Let's go ahead and get to the climax. What was I going to look up? Orange whip. Orange whip. Orange whip golf. Drink. Orange whip is a creamy sweet cocktail made with orange juice, cream, rum, and vodka. Famously featured in the 1980 film The Blues Brothers. But those cops are on the job. They can't drink alcohol. Anyway, so they get there and they perform Everybody Needs Somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. Someone to love. Someone to love. Yes. Yeah. And then after that, they perform Sweet Home Chicago. And I like when they're singing, and that John Candy's like, hey. He's like, howdy, hey. Baby, don't you wanna go? So during this, they sneak out. This guy shows up and say, hey, I'm going to offer you $10,000 cash advance on a recording contract. Like, okay. Plus they got the money from the thing. So, yeah. He's like, hey, give some of it to Ray's Music Exchange, the rest to the band, and then, yeah. And so then they leave, and they go through a tunnel where they're attacked by the mystery woman again. And again, this is the payoff. You could have kept this. You didn't need this in the movie. This is the payoff, is that it reveals that she's someone that Jake was going to marry, and he left at the altar. He uses his charm to woo her again. They kiss, and she leaves him there. Or he leaves her there, and they take off. They make their way towards Chicago. But before they do that, it's 106 miles to Chicago. We have full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. We also see that Tricky was actually gonna meet Elwood at the motel at midnight, like he asked her to. It's a nice little, but yeah. And they're chased by the Nazis and the cops and the good old boys. But like I said, they put the glue on the good old boys' wagon on so they can't get off the accelerator, and they end up crashing, so they're gone. The Nazis fall through the thing, but then they turn out the cops, in which there's not just cops on land, there's helicopters, there's cops on horses, there's cops in the water, everywhere. They make it to the county assessor's office, where we get a cameo from Steven Spielberg as the county clerk, who's on his lunch, but hey, we don't have time for that. So they pay off the tax bill, and then they're arrested, and we get dun dun ch ch dun dun ch ch dun dun ch ch. One through a party in a county jail. We get Jailhouse Rock, and the only question I've ever had from this: why did the rest of the band get arrested? I know that from a filmmaking point of view, it's so the whole band can be in it to perform, but they did fucking nothing. It was Jake and Elwood that was behind the whole thing. Because think about it. Yes, they were there at the Bob's Country Bunker, but they left, and it was Jake and Elwood who said they would take care of it, and then they took off. All the bad things that happened were because of Jake and Elwood. No one in the rest of the band should have went to jail. Unless they were just there as special guests to play. Like, hey, we can get you the band to come in here and play. It makes no sense that they all got arrested. It never made sense to me. But they sing the song with a bunch of the cast jumping in during the credits to sing the song. So, yeah. This is the cast. And, yeah, that's it. That's the Blues Brothers. Classic film. And as much as I harp on, they could have shortened or gotten rid of some of the chase scenes. They could have completely gotten rid of Carrie Fisher's character. To quote Joey C., this is a classic, let me tell you. Because it is. It's a bona fide classic, let me tell you. It is. It's from head to toe. Alright? And it, even more so, in popular culture, because the city of Chicago celebrates the Blues Brothers. They have statues. They have everything there. I wish I could go to Chicago and see that, but I don't drive. I don't have the money, even if I did drive. It's 106 miles to Chicago. I would do that too. It's 4,500 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, no cigarettes. It's daytime, and I'm wearing regular glasses. Hit it! Yeah, it goes to the moon, okay? It goes to the moon. It has to. As much as I harp on the other stuff, it just, I love it. From beginning to end, I'm bouncing to the music. I'm laughing at all the stuff. As much as I can point out some stuff that could be taken out to make it a little bit shorter, it's still fun. The car crashes are still kind of funny. You just got pile up. There's a point towards the end where Elwood's just like, I gotta cross over. And he does that, and there's a bunch of cop cars then crash trying to do the same thing. It's like the Dukes of Hazzard. It's where like the Dukes of Hazzard, they'll do the impossible. Then the cops try it, and they go, you know, it's like that. That's what it reminds me of, and I love it. Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah, so I want to point out that Bob from Bob's Country Bunker looks a lot like James Best. It's not him, but it always reminded me of James Best, who plays Roscoe P. Coltrane on that show. But yeah, and this is the long one. It's the first one. So yeah, and I'm recording this in the middle of April, actually, because I'm getting a head start. And hey, no cough, which means I'm finally getting over it. This is the first review I've done since Bambi the Reckoning, by the way. I'll probably have recorded and released more before this, but as it goes to, chronologically, this is being recorded before I would do any of those. The last actual review I did was Bambi the Reckoning, and the last video I did was the top 10 sequels better than the original. Just so you know, before I did this one. So, what are your thoughts on the Blues Brothers? Leave a comment, something you should like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and join me next time, tomorrow, as we phone home. Till then, see you in the next one.